up, everybody? This is Jeremy with No Holds, and we got Eddie Gonzales in the building. What's up, bro?
What's going on, man?
Man, how you been, man? I hadn't seen you in a decade.
I've been good, man. Just sticking to myself.
Why?
Staying away from everybody, man.
You don't like people now or what?
No.
That's messed.
Not really.
Dude.
I got too many kids, man.
I know, man. You got what, like at least 15, 20?
It's too high. About 10, 11.
Dude, I bet you have like a whole elementary school.
Yeah. Dude, I got a kid from high school all the way down to, well, not that far no more, but 4th grade. Next year will be all the way down to kindergarten. So.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Journey.
No, Evan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Journey's still.
She's ready.
Yeah.
Year and a half.
Year and a half. Evan. Dude.
I can't wait, man.
Dang it.
I love him. That's my bud, but I need my free time back.
Hey, but wait. You still have Journey, though.
Yeah, but that's Lily's baby now,
Lily's
man.
Baby.
Yeah, she's more attached to mama. So
that's her problem, not mine.
Yeah. I told her, you want another kid, that's on you. I'll just help you make it, but I ain't helping raise it. No, not really.
Hey, that can actually be a pretty good topic.
Oh, let's do it. Let's get into that one first. No.
That would actually be a pretty good topic, man. We can say a lot about that one. But I'm going to go ahead and ask you a couple of questions. Quick answers. They don't...
Okay.
Unless you want to, talk about them. But
Yeah.
Favorite color?
Red.
Red.
Yes, sir.
Favorite book?
Man. I don't have a favorite book.
No?
I don't read much.
I can tell.
Oh, all right.
No.
That's what it is, huh?
No. Favorite movie?
There's too many of them out there, man.
Yeah, there is.
I watch a lot of them. But right now, it would have to be the Avengers, the Endgame.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good.
I've watched it like 4 times already.
The Endgame? Have you seen Joker?
No.
Dude, you're missing out. Yeah. It's pretty good.
I've heard it was good, and I've heard some say it wasn't that good, so.
The ones that say that it wasn't that good, they're lame, man.
It's kind of what I thought, but.
Yeah, you need to go watch it, man. It's pretty good. I like it.
I may watch it. The dude kind of freaks me out, though, man.
Dude,
he's like somebody for real is out there like that for real.
And I think that's why it's so good is because, it could be,
right?
Someone like that out there. Pray nobody's out there like that, but I mean, it could possibly, yeah.
Pretty sure there is, though.
We just don't know yet.
Right.
Favorite food?
Food in general.
Food.
No. I'd have to say the green chicken enchiladas, man.
Dang.
If my wife makes them.
Oh, if your wife makes them.
Yeah, I've tried them everywhere else. Some were good, but she makes the best.
There you go. That's the best answer right there.
Yeah.
Because if you would have said somebody like
some
other restaurant or something, Lily lock you outside.
Mm-hmm.
Be sleeping with your dogs, man.
Yep. That's all right, though, man.
Yeah.
My dog's got a heat lamp, so.
Would you rather be loved or feared?
Loved.
Loved? Why?
Yeah. So you can get further being loved.
There you go.
Yeah. I think so.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree.
I mean, being feared only goes so far.
Mm-hmm.
Loved goes on forever.
There you go. Best advice you've ever received?
Man. I don't know on that one. Something I have to think about.
Uh-oh.
Best advice.
Best advice.
Man, I don't know right now.
Don't go for the Redskins. Would probably be your best advice.
No, that was... No, that was a good choice I made. Yeah. I used to go for the Cowboys when I was little.
Yeah, what happened there?
I matured and grew up, man.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the team I'm going for ain't much better, but...
I respect that.
I didn't want to run with the Texas flow on that one.
Mm.
Everybody in Texas wants to go for Cowboys.
Yeah.
Not me. Redskins.
Redskin.
Yeah.
So you don't have a best advice?
I'm pretty sure I do. I just
don't know. Okay, what about the worst advice you've ever received?
Don't go for the Redskins. worst advice, man.
The worst advice you've ever
bad.
received. It is bad, but
Well, it could go both ways, but the worst advice that kind of messed me up the most was, which it goes good and it goes bad, was don't let nobody push you around. Don't let nobody tell you what to do. That's good advice, but it went bad because I took it literally for everybody. Teachers, parents, principals, literally everybody. My stepdad, because I was a crybaby when I was little. Got picked on up until 5th grade, got bullied. And then my stepdad's like, don't let nobody tell you what to do or push you around. I'm like, all right. So when the teachers were like, you have to do this, I'm like, no, I don't. You ain't going to tell me what to do or push me around. So, yeah, it was good advice, but
then it could.
I took it the wrong way. I took it to a whole nother level.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, so.
That's what happens when you're a Redskin.
Come on, man.
No. If you can go back and talk to your teenage self, what advice would you give him?
Oh, man. Be more real. Be who you want to be.
Yeah.
Not who everybody thought you were going to be. Or who everybody else wanted you to be. Because it was bad, man. I lived my whole, I would say, teenage life up until, man, maybe 20 years old, being someone I didn't want to be. You know, I had to live up to this, Eddie was a bad dude. And because when I got into 7th grade, that's when I started fighting and being a clown and being the one that, oh, you want something done, let's call Eddie, he'll do it, you know. All this dude's been talking smack, I know who will hit him, let's go get Eddie. Dude, I didn't like to fight.
No.
I didn't like to do all that, but I had to keep up this, you know, image of somebody that I wasn't because I didn't want to get made fun of.
Yeah.
Of who I really wanted to be. And that's what I went with, man. Living a lie for a long time. Acting like I was this bad dude that wanted to fight everybody, and deep down inside I'm scared. Like, man, I feel like crying right now, but I can't. they're gonna laugh at me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, that'd be my thing, man. Is be who you want to be. You know, don't be fake.
Are you an emotional person?
Oh yeah.
No.
I feel like crying right now. No, not really. No, I am, man. I'm an emotional person.
Do you show your feelings in front of your kids and your wife also?
Oh,
like
yeah.
Friends also too? Or no?
Yep.
Yeah. No, that's good.
I've never had, more now that I've matured, you know, I held back a lot, but now as an adult, I'm kind of open with my emotions, you know. I don't cry for everything, but,
No.
you know, emotions ain't just crying.
Yeah, no.
That was
true.
the thing I always thought was an emotion was, oh, you're emotional, you're a crybaby. But yeah, I kind of try to be an open book around, you know, more my family, like my kids and my wife, because I don't want them to ever have to hold back or be afraid to say something or show something. So,
yeah,
you know, and they've seen me cry, they've seen me angry, they've seen everything, you know, the happy, the ugly, the everything that comes with it.
yeah. Which I think that's good because even us, you know, as being parents, you know, fathers especially, we tend to sometimes hold our emotions. The emotions we may end up showing most of the time is anger.
Yeah.
Maybe because they've done something wrong, you know, talk back, or maybe it was something in school, like I don't know, but that's kind of the emotions some men just want to show. They don't want to show the other side. And it to me, like, man, God, the Holy Spirit just revealed that to me one day. Is like, man, you need to show, you know, your kids that you are, not to say you're a crybaby, but they want to see that side of you.
Yeah.
Because you don't want them growing up be like, man, my dad is just always seems angry. Like, no, man, like, no, he, you know, yeah, my dad cries, but he's just showing me his emotions. Like, man, the love side of it. Not to say when you're angry you're not showing love, but it's more of, man, my dad, he loves me. Like, he's showing me that emotion of love. Like, I don't just see that angry part of him, or not even anger, or disappointment.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's good, man. I think all fathers should do that. Show your emotions, man. I think that, man.
And it's good, and it's like you said, the Holy Spirit. Like I've been convicted a lot when I'm like in the disciplining mode of my kids. Like sometimes, you know, like and it happens. You know, life gets to you. You're in a bad mood or you're tired, and your kid does something wrong, and you want to jump on them right away.
Mm-hmm.
And there's times I'm grabbing one of my kids out, and then like the Holy Spirit just hits me like, what if I treated you that way?
Oh yeah.
You know, you mess up a lot. You messed up a lot. What if I came at you like that? And then I'm like, man, all right.
Yeah.
You know, so I got to back off and just approach it a whole different way, because then I'm like, man, I was going about it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then I try to think in my head a lot, you know, if I'm going to get angry at this, I'm going to shut them down. And when something they need to tell me or talk about, they're going to be afraid to, because they're going to have that, my dad's just going to come yell at me. Or,
yeah.
So I try to keep that in mind, especially with like my oldest being in high school.
Mm-hmm.
It's different now in high school, man. They deal with a lot. And I've recently started like subbing around the schools in high school and junior high. It's different than when I was in school. I don't know, man.
No, it is different. I know,
Yeah,
even like with my daughter too, it's just the things that they deal with now.
Yeah.
And the things that the stuff that's in front of them now, you know, Instagram and Facebook, social media, man, that will mess.
they got so much that's just out there. It's easy access to them.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they try to relate to them and like, oh man, I'm not that pretty, or I don't have all those things, and then they end up feeling depressed themselves. I'm like, man, I never had to deal with any of that back then, because we didn't have that. We were usually outside riding bikes, playing in the dirt. I don't know, doing something dumb.
Something outside, yeah, but we were outside.
Yeah, you know, and day and night, that's pretty much what it was. But it was, and we had fun, you know, and the stuff that, yeah, for sure, that they deal with now. Man, have you ever had any bad experiences as a sub?
No, nah. Well, I mean,
because you know, back then, I remember back then when we used to have a sub.
Oh, dude, see, like, that's what kind of helps me out with being a sub now. Mm-hmm. Is I was the bad kid that when we had the sub, we were like, let's see how far we could push the sub, you know. And usually it was a lady sub, and there is some guy subs there, but you know, it's. I know what to expect already, because I was that kid that. So when I get those kids, you know, that they try to push it, and the big thing is the phone. Can I get my phone out? I'm gonna get my phone out. And you know but the thing about it is, because I've subbed like co-sub with other subs in the same room, and man, a lot of them go in with like an iron fist, like, "Oh, are you gonna listen to me?" And I'll tell them, I'm like, they're gonna come at you. The more you have that attitude, the more they come at you, and it happens, man. Yeah. So I really haven't had a bad experience. I've had pretty good ones, because I try to understand where they're coming from, you know, and I understand the ones that are acting out. There's a reason why they're acting out, because that was me. You know, I had a lot of emotional baggage with me, you know, from a young age, from 6 years old on up. I mean, there was a lot that bad that happened, so I was acting out in school. I was, you know. So I kind of understand. I'm going with that mindset of, you know, there's something else going on. It's not, because kids ain't bad, you know. Yeah. There's something that made them that way. They're dealing with something at home or whatever it could be. And like you said, it's social media or something. They're dealing with something. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of going with that mindset of, you know, there's something else. So I can't really attack them or go at them in an ugly way as far as disciplining them.
Yeah. No, I agree. You were just saying that you had when you were 6 that you had all this baggage and stuff. What caused that?
Oh man, my parents divorced when I was about between 5 and 6 years old. But it wasn't just like we're getting divorced, let's split up. I mean, it was hell, man. It was fighting. It was people walking into our house and see my mom punch somebody out, getting scratched, cops showing up, guns getting pulled. I mean, it was ugly, man. You know, and little kids at that age shouldn't have to be dealing with that, you know? Yeah. I mean, it was pretty bad.
You're the youngest?
Yeah. With my brothers from my dad. Like my mom and my dad, I'm the youngest.
And then you have 2 older brothers, right?
Yep.
And then sisters?
I got 2 younger sisters, 3 if you count my stepsister, and then I got a younger brother.
Y'all get along pretty well?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Y'all talk pretty often, or just every now and then?
I think the main one I talk to is Joelle. As far as brothers, my sister, I talk to her a lot, but Joelle's probably the main one that I talk to a lot. Yeah.
That's cool. Were y'all pretty, like, out of all of them, were you closer to one, just like maybe one brother or one sister? Yeah. And it was Joelle also?
Yeah.
What about the other ones? You just never really got along?
Yeah.
It was hard to open up to?
No, I got along with them. I just never, you know, my oldest brother, he was around, and then once he got out of the house, it was kind of, he did his own thing, you know, and we were still at home. And then my younger brother, I talk to him. We get along good. I just hardly ever see him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my younger brother and younger sister, I hardly ever see them. It wasn't really like we weren't raised together. So it was one of those, I'll see you, you know, I probably seen them once every 5 years, maybe, growing up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but now, I mean, we got a good relationship, but it's not like a everyday type of deal or let me call, see how you're doing or what's going on, nothing. We just, when I see him around town, it's like, hey, what's up? And
Yeah.
that's about it.
Man. So before that, before your parents got divorced, how was their relationship? Pretty good? Or has it always been, like, as you remember, is it always
As far as I remember, it was never really that good. As far as my parents' relationship,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they never really had a good relationship.
Mm.
It was never, I guess the way my mom would say, it was more of they stayed together because for the kids, you know, had kids, so they stayed together. And my mom tried working it for like, I think she said like 14 years, 13, 14 years, till finally she just gave up and said, all right, I'm going to do this on my own.
Yeah.
And we did all right, and we did good. You know, I remember some stuff, us living just us boys and my mom, it was good.
How was not having a father? Like, or was your dad always a part of your life after the divorce?
He was, but I wasn't, how would I say, I wasn't the favorite of my dad.
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. Me and Joel would always joke. Adam was the oldest one. It was a mistake. Joel was the one they wanted together, and I was the, well, we should get back together and try it out. And it didn't work. But no, I mean, I wasn't my dad's favorite, you know.
Mm.
He was kind of more tough on me.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and I mean, it. Now that I have kids, when they act up, I'm like, yeah, that would have hit me too, man. But no, but he was more physical with me.
Mm.
Like I'm the one that got slapped around and smacked around, and so kind of. But I got used to it.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but I mean, you get used to it, you know.
Hmm.
So it becomes normal. Like this is the normal,
Yeah.
you know. Until I became a teenager, and when I fought back, then that's when it stopped. You know. But yeah, I wasn't the favorite. Which our relationship is good now, you know. Like it's not 100% like going amazing, but there's something there, you know. And I mean, it is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
I can't be mad at him or hate him for it. I mean, that's for some reason or another, that's what he had in his heart. That's who he was, you know. And I understand that because I made a lot of mistakes, or not. I don't like to use the word mistake. I made a lot of bad decisions that that made me from growing up the way I got raised. I made these bad decisions, you know.
Gotcha.
If that makes any sense. So
Yeah.
he was the way he was because maybe he was raised a certain way or he got treated a certain way. So, you know, he pushed that on me. But, I mean, it was bad, but now I know how to not treat my kids.
Yeah.
You know, I know if I say this, it's going to hurt them. If I hit them like this, it's not just going to hurt physically. It's going to leave an emotional scar that they could take on to adulthood when they have kids. So, you know, I mean, I guess that's a good thing that came out of that.
I mean, yeah, it is learning, I guess. Yeah, because you don't want to treat your kids the way, of course, you were treated, and to recognize that, you know, before you had kids or even at that age is, man, I think that's good. I wasn't abused or anything, not physically, verbally. Yes, but not physically. So to even think about like that trauma that you went through, that because you were how old when you started getting abused?
As far as I can remember, I mean, I really couldn't put an age on it.
Mm-hmm.
It just, I remember that's what it was. I don't know. I wouldn't say 6 years old, 7. I just remember that's what my life was.
Yeah, and what about like your mom or your brothers? They never tried to kind of help out or.
My mom didn't know. She found out when I was like after I had already like fought back with my dad one day. Like years later, my older brother, because he knew, but he wouldn't like confront my dad. He did a few times, and I almost got into it. And he would just be like, "Get in my car, let's go." And he'd go drop me off at home. My mom never knew why. She just thought argued with somebody, and because I was always arguing with somebody. But she never knew until I was maybe like, it stopped when I was 14. She found out when I was probably like 18 years old. She was like, why didn't you ever tell me? I was like, because you wouldn't let me go with my dad. And I would go because Joel went. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, well, I'm going to go with my brother. And that was the reason I went, you know. And, I mean, it wasn't bad. We had good times. We had fun times. And he would take us on vacation and stuff. But it was like, if anybody else did something wrong, they just got told, hey, don't be doing that, you know. If I did something wrong, it was like, you're going to get smacked and hit a few times.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was a bad kid that it was like, I got to hit this one to calm him down, or what it was. But
yeah, man. Do you think that affected you even with I know I asked you about the the advice. You were saying don't get picked on. Is that another reason why, I guess, you kind of started doing what you're doing because of like, I mean, I'm like, no, I'm not going to let anybody hit me anymore. Because
it was a lot that played into that.
Yeah.
I mean, even growing up, like when my mom met my stepdad, like we went in, the family was big. It was a bunch of boys, you know, and I went in, like, I guess you could say, like mama's little boy. You know, I got roughed up. I got picked on. I got beat up because I was always crying and telling, and you know, I got roughed up. So I had to become tough, but I didn't want to.
Yeah.
And then going into sixth grade, Joel was like, look, man, you're coming to junior high. You can't be crying all the time and telling all the time, because all his friends were there. So I'm like, all right. And then that's when my stepdad told me, you know, don't let nobody push you around or tell you what to do. And that summer, they put us into these boxing classes. So the first 2 weeks were bad for me, man. I got beat up, got pushed around. I didn't want to hit nobody. You know, and I would fight with my brother, but you don't physically hard fight your brother. You just kind of smack each other and try to tear each other's shirt. And when I started fighting back in boxing, it was a bigger kid. And I hit him twice, and he didn't knock out. He went down. He fell. And that's when it started, like, this little fire started to turn on. I'm like, oh, man. I was always a bigger kid than most of my friends, you know. And so he got up, and, you know, they started doing more training and pushing us more. And I seen that I could hit. So all this that my brother told me, and then my stepdad told me, and then all this anger and emotional stuff that I had, and then doing this, man, it lit a fire in me that, you know, it just, like, I couldn't stop it. I mean, it's kind of weird. I didn't like to fight. I didn't like to hit people. But the first fight I got into in junior high, I seen how everybody lit up. Like, man, this dude can fight, and this dude can this and that. So I guess where in a way I wanted that attention, because I never had it. It just, went out of hand, man. And I was that kid that, and then one thing that my stepdad told me was, if you know you're going to fight, just hit them right away. Don't let them hit you first, because they can knock you out or knock you down. They're going to stomp on your head or something. So if we're arguing, bop, I just hit people. Like, that was it, man. Like, I would bump somebody, or they'd look at me wrong, and I would just hit them. I was always in trouble. And the one that got me was in 7th grade. Me and this kid were fighting, and when he fell, there was a rock, like, in the ground. So I'm on top of him, still hitting him, and the back of his head cracked open. Well, I didn't know. I mean, if I would have seen it, I'd have stopped. You know, I wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But where I kept hitting him, and then when I got up and he turned and I seen the blood coming down, it scared me, man. And the only reason they didn't press charges was because he was a bully, and his dad said, I told him one day, you're going to meet your match. He's on. Which, good thing was he didn't have, like, bad damage. You know, it just broke the skin. It didn't break, like, the skull. Like, it didn't break in. He had a big gash from the skin busting open, and that was it for me, man. They expelled me out of school, the whole state of Texas, for 3 months. I was in what they call CAPS. From 7th grade up until 12th grade. Never got to experience like the football games or baseball games. Never got to do sports. Never got to do nothing in school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dang, dude, that's crazy, man.
I mean, I would go back into regular school every year. I think the most I was at was a month.
And then have to go right back.
Right back, man. Always getting in trouble, getting in the fights, or just hitting somebody.
Dang.
Yeah.
Man, when your mom met your stepdad, how was that? Like, how did that make you feel when?
Oh man, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it was awesome.
Mm.
Because my dad was there in a ways, but he wasn't. How would you say, like the father figure to me? He never gave me good advice, and my stepdad did. You know, he showed us how to work. He showed us how to do all kinds of stuff. You know, and he was into animals, horses, and cattle, and all kinds of stuff. So we grew up out. It's out on Franklin City Highway. It used to be called Flight 8 Farms. So we grew up out there. I mean, my teenage life was out there. You know, with horses and cows, but my deal was hunting out there. That's all I did out there. You know, but it was crazy because I would get expelled from school. My mom or my stepdad would go buy me like 2 boxes of shells every day, so I could just be out there shooting. And I'm like, all right, cool. You know, so I didn't really get disciplined at home, not much at all.
Yeah,
they'd gripe me out and be like, "Don't be doing this." I'm like, okay. And I'll be like, "Can we go buy some bullets? Because I'm gonna be out of school for 3 months." So, and yeah. Dang. You know, there was no like hard labor work or, you know, we lived on a farm. They could have had me doing stuff every day.
Yeah, yeah.
Man.
No.
it was good for me, so, you know.
That make your brothers work?
Nah. I mean, we all did work, you know. It was a little farm, so we all had to do something. Mm. But as far as like pushing it beyond the chores because of discipline, I didn't have it.
Gotcha.
You know, my mom tried, but.
When was the last time, do you remember that you got spanked?
Oh, man. I was maybe 10 or 11 that I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Man, I know my mom, I think I was in junior high, and she tried to spank me, and all I did was laugh.
Yeah.
After that, she didn't even do that anymore. She's like, I'm just going to ground you.
I think that's kind of what happened with us.
Like, no, just spank me. I'd rather take the beating.
Dude, but see, even that, when my mom got past the phase of spankings ain't going to do nothing, they would ground me, right? Like, Friday night, you ain't going nowhere. I'd be like, okay. Friday night was coming. I would leave Friday night, come back home Sunday morning. So it didn't really.
It didn't do nothing.
It didn't do nothing. I still did what I wanted, man, you know.
Yeah.
My mom tried, but.
And I think it's hard for it's hard for a mom to especially raise a man. But
I mean, she had my stepdad there.
Yeah.
But he was more the cool stepdad. He told my mom, well, they're boys, you know, they're going to do boy stuff. And I'm like, heck yeah. Mm. So that was we're boys, Mom. We're going to do boy stuff. No, it's just part of it. I guess she finally fell for it and went with it.
Dang it. So he never disciplined you at all?
Or
like even like this. Would your mom allow it?
Yeah.
Because I know some parents don't. It's hard for them to.
She did. No, you're good. She did. To a certain age where, you know, I know he spanked me a few times. They caught us smoking a few times, so he busted us, and you know, but he didn't bust us a lot. But I know he did a few times, and then he just didn't do it no more.
Gotcha.
I think if I'm not mistaken, he did a few times, and then his dad told him, "Don't ever spank them again. You know, they're not yours. You show them right, you raise them right, but don't hit them." So, you know, that's when he stopped.
Yeah.
Which is kind of wrong, but I could have used a few more buses.
So after, so you pretty much missed your whole high school. Didn't get to experience prom. Nothing. Literally nothing. Man, so like, how does that make you feel? Like even now, like how does that make you feel?
Man. It sucks. Like my oldest son, he don't want to do sports. He wasn't into like the 8th grade. What was it? I think they call it celebration now. It used to be 8th grade banquet.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't into none of that. He got into high school. He didn't want to do sports. He literally did nothing. And I'm like, man, like I'm telling him, like you don't understand right now. You're gonna miss all this, you know. Like I didn't get to do all this. I don't have school. I have a school picture. It was in a gray T-shirt because that's what we had to wear, gray T-shirts. Man. And I took that in freshman year, and that's it. That's the only school picture I have. Man. And that's what they use every year in the yearbook was the same picture.
Just the same picture. Yeah. Wow. Did you get to even graduate? Did you walk the stage?
No, man, I didn't. I got expelled. I started my senior year. I started the first day of school. First day of school, like 6 of us go to a buddy's house because he lived right down the road from the high school. We went and we started getting high. So we went during lunch. We didn't go back like the next 2 periods. So they found out something was up. Cops figured out where we were. They caught us. I got sent back to Caps. I'm in Caps, and there's this one dude in there. He didn't like me for whatever. I wouldn't have liked me either, man. We got into a fight, and he was a bigger dude, and he was getting the better of me, man. So I hit him with a book, you know, because we had these little cubicles that we were in. I mean, your elbows just right here.
Yeah.
So he got me in there. So I grabbed a book and I started hitting him with it, and you know, I won, but I got expelled again. And this time they were going to expel me for the whole year. And I couldn't go to school in Texas, and I was going to have to come back and do the following, like my senior year all over again. So I told him, like, I'm not coming back. And, you know, we went back and forth. Finally, the superintendent was like, I tell you what. He's like, they got GED classes next week. He's like, if you pass it, I'll clear you. You're done. I'm like, all right. So I went, took the test, passed it, and I was done.
Man.
I was good.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I built a bad reputation for myself. So when I would go back into school, the teachers already knew this is a bad kid. You know, he's going to act up in class. So I ruined it for myself, you know.
Yeah. Did they treat you differently than other kids?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, there's one teacher that we bumped heads a lot. And when I started going to church, I seen her there. And when she seen me, she kind of looked at me like, you know, expecting, I guess, the same kid she had to deal with. And I went and apologized to her and talked to her. And she apologized too. She's like, I shouldn't have treated you that way, even though I did. But she's like, you know, I apologize. And I'm like, I wasn't mad at her for it, because I'm like, hey, I would have treated that kid different too. Like, man, this kid just walks in and running his mouth and trying to be the class clown, you know, disrupting class. Kids want to learn, but I didn't. I'd have been mean to me too. But yeah, she's.
What church did you go to?
Family Harvest.
Family Harvest?
Yeah. Transformation now.
No. Nice.
Went there for a while.
Nice. Well, when did you start going over there?
Man, I must say back in 08.
08?
Yeah. It was in 08.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I think that's when... No, I started 07. Yeah, I think I started 07. That's when I met your brother, Joel. Yeah.
Then maybe it was... Because I know we started going when Joel and Amanda started going. Like 2 weeks after they did. Oh, they're the ones that kind of started telling us about it. They were having that... man, I don't remember what it's called. Where Jack Myers would come down.
Oh, Word and Spirit Conference?
Yeah. And we seen how excited they were. And we were like, man, we got to go check this out. And I think it was that same week they had it. They went the first 2 days, and then Lily went with them the next day, and then that's when I went with them after that. So
started being a part of that. Oh, that's cool, man. After 12th grade, after all that, did you go to college, or did you do anything after that?
Nope.
No?
Didn't do nothing.
Stayed here in Seminole?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Just work here?
Started working, man.
What was your first job?
My first job was Thriftway.
Thriftway?
Yeah, I was a sacker. But after I got out of school, I went to work at Awesome's.
Yeah.
Night shift.
Night shift.
That was bad. Yeah.
And all the burritos.
All the burritos, yeah.
Dang it.
Yep.
Man, how was that? Working nights, how was that?
Especially at that time, it was good. For me, it was good. I mean, we used to have a lot of dances here back then. So I had some buddies that were into a lot of different stuff, you know, selling drugs and stuff like that. And I worked night shift, and everybody after the dances, that straight where they went to Awesome. So
yeah, it
went good for a while. I mean, now it's bad, but for us at that time, it was good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Did you get into any of that stuff too? Drugs?
Yeah.
After high school, drugs, alcohol?
Oh, yeah. During high school. Yeah.
When was the first time you ever got high?
12 years old.
12 years old. Wow.
Yeah. Me and my brother.
You and your brother?
Yeah.
So it's your brother's fault.
My brother's fault.
Dang it.
Nah. Yeah.
So what about drinking? When was the first time you drank alcohol?
Around the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It all kind of started around the same time.
Gotcha. What after you had graduated, did it get worse? Like, did you start drinking
it got
more?
worse. I mean, all through high school, We just smoked weed. That was it.
Mm.
And then getting maybe about a senior year is when we started. Me and a friend of mine started trying cocaine, and man, we just went with that.
Now, how long did you do that for?
Man, up until I got hurt, up until 2006. So I was 21.
21.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not good with dates, but it was around there somewhere.
Yeah. What age did you get married?
Why you gotta come with these questions and
Hey,
dates, man? Come on.
Okay, estimate.
Dang.
Hey, Lily,
I know it was
Get
March
right in.
31st. That's 2007.
2007.
Yeah.
When you got married.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, March 31st or 30th, 2007. It was around there, man.
Hey, you're gonna get in trouble.
Hey, dude, I'm not good with dates, man. Their dad took Alyssa to the doctor, and they're like, date of birth. I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know. Doesn't it say on there?
Yeah, that's what I told her. I was like, they don't say it on there. She's like, no. I'm like, dang. So I look at her. I'm like, what's your date of birth? She told me.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Dang it, Eddie.
But yeah, I got married in 07. It was 07.
So, after high school, you get into drugs. Of course, you said alcohol, and then you get into an accident.
No.
Explain, like, what happened there with the accident.
Man, up to the accident, I was kind of... It was weird, man. Well, not weird. I mean, I say weird. I don't know what other word to use, but it was like I was in a transition in my life at that point. Because I was into drugs. I was in my thing was cocaine. That's, once I tried it, smoking weed was nothing anymore. Drinking alcohol was nothing. I really never liked drinking beer. And once I got into cocaine, after I started doing coke, I could drink all I wanted, I was numb to everything, so. And I was kind of going through this deal in my life where I was tired of it. Because I had 4 kids by that time. I got hurt in 06. I had 4 kids. And I had nothing to do with any of them at all. And I was living, the way I say is, I was living a life that I had said I was never going to live like my dad.
Yeah.
Because he had 3, 4, 5 kids. He had 3 of us with my mom, and then 2 other kids with 2 other women. And I was like, I'm never going to be that way. And that's exactly where I was going. Where I had nothing to do with them, and I already had 4 kids at 21 years old. So I'm like, man, I got to stop. And it was crazy because I would start praying, and then once I was done praying, I would get up and do like a line or 2 of coke. And then I would go to work. That was my coffee in the morning. I would do cocaine. And I had a buddy here, and then I drank a lot. I didn't drink beer. I drank a lot of tequila. That was my thing. I love taking shots. That was, we drank. They already knew we got to have a bottle, or Eddie's gonna just do shots. Once I got past like 5 or 6 shots, then I would drink beer because I was good. But I had a buddy here, man. He's an older man, and he, I seen him at a Thriftway one time, and I'm just walking. I said, hey, what's up, man? And he looks at me, and he's like, you got to quit doing what you're doing. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm laughing, like, you crazy, man. What are you talking about? He said, you just got to stop doing what you're doing. He's like, I know what I'm telling you. I'm like, all right, man, that's cool. And then I moved to Midland to work up there. And there was this pastor that was up there, and he knew my stepdad because they did like a Baptist revival together. And he told my stepdad, he was like, does one of your kids live in Midland? My stepdad said, yeah, I had one that just moved over there. He was like, well, tell him to come to my church. He's like, I don't know, I feel something that I need to talk to him. He's like, I don't know who he is. And they called me and told me. I'm like, all right, I'll go. I never went. But at that time I'm praying, God, I need something different. Because I was raised Baptist, so I knew, about God. I knew about prayer. I knew how strong prayer was. I just, I got saved when I was 13, but the how would you say, the Christian lifestyle didn't last long for me. But I knew about prayer, and I was praying to God. And then there was this one night we were gonna go out on a Friday night. It was a Saturday night, and I didn't know then, but I know now it was the Holy Spirit. Like something hit me in the stomach, told me just stay home. And I'm like, I ain't gonna stay home. I didn't know what it was. I'm fighting it, you know. I knew about God. I knew about all this, but I didn't know about the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the heck is this? I almost got sick where it hurt my stomach so bad. I went into the restroom. I threw up. My cousin's like, man, what's wrong with you? You all right? I'm like, yeah, I just had to throw up, man. I was like, I don't know what it was. I didn't want to go out that night, but we still did. And, man, we went out and went to a bar, and we started taking shots. I think my tab on just shots was $150.
Just shots.
Yeah, just shots.
Right.
And then there was another buddy that I worked with. He was sending me shots to my table. He was there with his wife, and, you know, as a joke, he kept sending me shots.
Mm.
And I'm like, man, and he said, whatever shot you don't drink, you got to pay me back. And that's what we did. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, I ain't paying it. He kept sending shot after shot. And I don't remember leaving the bar. It's like I woke up in a car, and me and my cousin are driving. You know, he's driving, and I'm in the passenger side. I think we're coming to Seminole. And I grabbed my phone, and I called Lily, which, you know, we weren't together at the time, but I called her. And I was like, you know, we're going to Seminole. I'm going to go by your house. She was like, I don't remember if she said yeah or no. She probably said no. I don't know. And we're going, and I'm looking out the window, and I kind of see like we're going off the road. And I turn to look at my cousin, dude. He's out. His head's back. He's snoring, and his foot's pushing the gas. Mm. And I see we're going off the road, and I'm like, I need to grab the wheel before I wake him up. Because if I wake him up, he's going to jerk it, you know, when we're going off the road. And, you know, I'm kind of thinking about what I'm doing, but I'm still drunk. So, I'm taking my time to get my hand there. And when I say his name to wake him up, exactly what he does, man. He grabs the wheel and he jerks it, and we just flip. The car flips, and the way they rated it, they say we're going about 105, and the rims caught into the street, and it flipped the car in the air, and it landed on my side, landed on the passenger side. So on my side, it was smashed down completely. It smashed down, it hit the seats, broke the seats down, and we rolled. They say we rolled twice. We landed back on the wheels, you know, back on all four. I'm laying there, and I'm kind of freaking out. I've never been in a car accident. So I'm freaking out, you know, and I could see my cousin, but I couldn't move. So I thought my body was in shock. I've been into a few, like, you know, what they call like a fender bender, you know.
Oh yeah.
Never been in a rollover, so I think my body's in shock. That's why I can't move. I'm like, man, all right. Couldn't feel nothing, so I'm like, well, I'm not hurt. Nothing hurts. And I kind of see my cousin, and like he's full of blood, man. There's blood everywhere. He's rubbing his head, and the blood's just shooting out, and I'm like, man. So I try to move my hand, try to move my legs, and nothing moves. And that's when I kind of knew. I'm like, nah, something's wrong. Like, and, you know, of course, we knew if you break your back, you know, you go paralyzed. And I'm like, yeah, so I broke something. I didn't know where it was. I just knew I broke something. My cousin somehow gets out the car. I don't remember if he crawled out the window or what he did, but he gets out. He passes out behind the car. I think we're in the middle of the road. And this happened like at 1:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. We were there 2 hours till somebody pulled up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, till all the clubs were done.
Yeah.
But in that moment, we're sitting there, and I'm just kind of looking around. You know, I couldn't do nothing. And when I start to freak out, I felt like I was sitting in somebody's lap. And then that's when I knew, like, I'm going to be good. You know, no matter what happens, I'm going to be good. Mm-hmm. You know, we get there. I mean, the ambulance gets there. The fire department gets there. You know, they take my cousin, tell me what's going on. They fly me from the road. Helicopter lands in the middle of the road. You know, they fly me from there, take me to Odessa. And I fell asleep getting in the helicopter, and then I wake up. I knew where I was. You know, they had me on I think it was called life support. All them tubes in my mouth. You know, the machine's breathing for me, and it was kind of funny because when I woke up, they're talking to me, asking me these questions, right? Well, I can't talk. And they're like, do you know where you're at? And I'm trying to tell them, yeah, I know I'm in a hospital. And they're like, he don't know where he's at. He don't know nothing. And I'm like, thinking in my head, you got all these tubes in my mouth. I can't talk. Like, I can't tell you where I'm at. And so I started talking to them with my eyebrows. Like, they finally figured out one was yes, two was no. And they were like, you know where you're at? I'm like, yeah. You're in a hospital. I'm like, you know, so I'd signal with my eyebrows, yeah, I know I'm in a hospital, but, you know, they explained to me everything that happened. You know, you broke your neck, The vertebrae was shattered. It wasn't there no more. I'm like, man, okay. You're paralyzed. I'm like, okay. They expected a reaction. I didn't have a reaction. Because in the car, when I felt like somebody was holding me, I knew I was gonna be good. Surgery happens, everything goes on. Then my mom told me later, she was like, when the doctor did your surgery, he said it was gonna be a 6 to 8 hour surgery. He came back out in an hour. She's like, he was pale, he had this weird look on his face, and her first thing was he didn't make it. So she says the doctor walks over, my mom's already like freaking out, and then he looks at her and he was like, we're done. She was like, what do you mean you're done? He was like, yeah, we're done. She was like he's done, like he didn't make it. He's like, no, the surgery went well, he's done. So what he explained, he came back and explained to me later. He said when he opened me up, the vertebrae was shattered, right? It was just in little bones. He said it was like somebody got it and put it in a little pile. So they just had to vacuum it out right there. And when he got the prosthetic that went in my neck, he said that's usually what takes the longest is they got to measure, they got to, all that. He's like, it's like this piece was made for you. He's like, it just went right in. He's like, we didn't have to remeasure, we didn't have to cut it, nothing. He said it just went in, and they put the prosthetic in the back, put a plate in the front, screwed it, and they were done. That was it. It took him 1 hour, and he was freaked out about it. He was like, man. Good thing was he was a doctor that knew God and he understood prayer. So he said too, before we went in, we prayed, We prayed, everything went smooth. He's like, but I've never had that happen.
Yeah.
I was like, cool. And he told me, he said, okay, from here on out, whatever you get back, he's always between you and God. Nobody else. I said, okay. For some reason, the hospital had a specialist. They flew him down. They did all these, they put electrodes from my head to my toe, man. Like all these little, pads with wires hooked up to see the response. And they got nothing, literally nothing. So this doctor's like, man, this is it. This is going to be your life. You're going to be paralyzed from your neck down for the rest of your life. This is it. I kind of wanted to freak out, but I didn't. I'm like, okay, because I'm like, I can remember what the doctor told me and then the experience I had in the car that I was going to be okay. So I'm like, all right. He's like, you're not understanding me. This is it. You're never going to walk, never eat. He's like, you may move your fingers a little bit, but that's it.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, that's fine. And he left it at that. I was in the hospital maybe... Total time I was in the hospital was 2.5 months. About a month in, these older people come down from Seminole. I say old people, older couple. And they're like, can we anoint you with oil? And I'm like, yeah. So they anoint me. They grease me up from head to toe, put oil all over me. They start praying. They were Pentecostals. I kind of knew about that. Kind of freaked me out, but I'm like, I'm not gonna say no to prayer.
Yeah.
They pray over me, man, and an hour later, I can move my big toe. They thought it was nerves. I'm like, nah, I stopped and moved it, stopped. And they're like, well, they said if you get anything back, it's going to be your hands. You ain't going to have your legs back. I'm like, well, I'm moving my toe. So, man, me and my mom, we're singing the old Baptist songs. I'm singing loud. We're praising God. And, slowly, I started getting, my toe. And it wasn't a lot of movement. It was just like a little flicker, on my toe.
Yeah. So
I told my mom, I said, July 31st, I'm going to walk. She was like, okay, that's fine. She didn't want to tell me no. She just said, that's fine. Man, I get out of the hospital. I go home. I'm just in the bed, When I get up, they just put me in a wheelchair. That was it. They go to something with my sister at school. And I didn't remember the date. I didn't remember what I said. My mom lays me in bed. She said, you going to be good here? I was like, yeah, I can't go nowhere anyway. I can't roll. I ain't going to fall off. They leave. I'm sitting there, and I say, all right, God, if I'm going to walk, I want to do it right now. Dude, it took me 2 hours just to sit up in bed. I would get up, and I would fall back down. It was rough. I finally sat up. I'm like, all right, I sat up. I'm like, if I did this on my own, I can do the rest. It took me maybe another hour to stand up. Finally, I stood up after falling back, and I would fall, go all the way down, man.
Dang.
You see me fall at the church one time, remember?
The church?
Yeah, when we were moving the bills, and that's how I would fall.
Yeah.
When I go down, I go all the way down. And that's how it was, man. Finally, I stood up, and I stood there, and I was freaked out. I was like, man, I stood up. I'm like, all right. So I took 2 steps, and after them 2 steps, it went from there. Every day I was taking 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps. And I mean, I knew God was going to do something,
Yeah.
There was times I had doubt, There was times I'm like, man, this is it. And even now, I don't walk 100% good, I can't run. Right now, I don't run. I can't do what I used to do right now. And every now and then it still creeps in like, man, this is it. Is this it? But I got to keep that hope up, I got to keep that deal that I tell myself, never give up.
Yeah.
And I've had people tell me, well, you got to accept that's what you're going to get. I had doctors tell me that. I had what are they called? A physical therapist tell me that. There was a physical therapist, man, that he would get mad. I went in with a wheelchair and he was like, man, this is it. I went in with a walker. He would just look at me like, that's probably all you're going to get.
Oh, wow.
I went in crutches, like walking with the crutches, and he would, after a while, he wouldn't even talk to me. He didn't even acknowledge that I was there anymore.
What the heck?
It was crazy, man. And I mean, I went in with a cane and he would just look at me and turn around, and it was a slow progress, but I got somewhere,
Yeah.
And there was times that I would doubt. I would kind of get down a little, like, man, is this it? Is this how I'm gonna walk? But then I met people, going to the hospital and the rehab. I met people that they broke their necks, and that was it. They can't even move their hands.
Yeah.
They can't even hold themselves up. And I got a buddy here in Seminole that he was in an accident. He broke his neck, and that's been his life ever since. And he was the one that would talk to me and tell me, like, look, you're walking, you got this. I don't have this. Be happy if that's all you get.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that's true, because he didn't have that. He doesn't have that, and he told me the way he said, he's like, I never will. You do. So, if that's all you get, be grateful for it. Thank God for it.
Yeah.
And that's what I do, man. I thank God that if this is all I got, at least I can walk. I can get up and walk. I can get up and do things for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we want all of it,
Oh, yeah.
We want it all back. But God knows, man.
Oh, yeah.
God knows. Because if I would have got healed when I wanted, it wouldn't have been good.
Think you would have went back
and
did
definitely,
the same? How old were you
100%.
when this happened?
21.
21.
Yep, 21 years old. So if I would have got healed from between 21 and, man, I'm 35 right now. So if I would have got healed between 21 and, say, 30 years old, I would have went back, man.
Mm.
Even going to church, even where I was at, I was wanting to get healed.
Yeah.
What
happened to your cousin?
He split his on his head. He split from the front of the hairline all the way to the back.
Mm.
He hit the side of the rim of the window sill. His head hit that.
Gotcha.
And that, he's doing good. Thank God he's doing good. That was all that happened to him.
Yeah. Did he ever feel, man, just awful?
Oh yeah.
Because of what?
Yeah.
What happened.
Yeah, he felt bad, man. He would apologize to me. And one time we were talking, he started crying. I'm like, look, man, we were both adults. We both chose to go out. We both chose to drink. It's a consequence that comes with it,
Yeah.
I mean, it happens,
Mm.
Things like that happen, bad decisions we make, and we just got to live with it. And he's doing good now, man. It took him a while to get over I guess you could say he felt responsible. He felt guilty that it was his fault.
Yeah.
But, and it wasn't. And a lot of people would ask me, are you mad at him? Do you hate him for it? I'm like, why? I chose to drink. I chose to get in a car. So,
Yeah.
I can't throw my, how would you say? I got to take the responsibility, I chose to do that,
Yeah.
So why would I throw that on somebody else and be like, oh, it's your fault, I got drunk. I took all them shots, but it's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
I could have stayed home,
Yeah.
One of my other cousins wanted me to stay home with them, and I'm like, nah, man, let's go drink. That was my thing,
Mm-hmm.
Took me a few lines of coke, prayed for God to make sure that I was good, did some cocaine, and went and got drunk. It happens, man.
Oh yeah.
That's how I had to see it in life. Bad things happen, It's like I tell people, you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes, man.
Mm.
So That's what happened.
Did you have, like, say that just one person there with you all the time is always checking on you besides your mom?
Not really.
No.
After the accident, I lost probably 90% of my friends because I was the party guy. When parties went down, I was the one they called because I showed up with bottles of liquor and plenty of cocaine for everybody. That was the thing that I did. And after it happened, man, I think I had 2 friends show up to the hospital. 2, maybe 3. 3 that showed up, and maybe once or twice. That was it.
Man.
All these people that I had that, man, these are my buddies, these are my friends. Never.
Yeah.
Nothing. Some still to this day, I haven't seen them.
Wow.
Yeah.
They live here still in Seminole?
Some do, yeah. Some live here, some are in Hobbs, some Midland, Lubbock.
Dang, man. Just
nothing.
Never try to acknowledge you after that.
No.
Man, what about your brothers, like Joel? What
what
did he feel? And when that happened to you, what was his reaction? How did he feel about it?
They said he took it pretty hard, man. Yeah, he was. We were like best friends, still are, but
yeah,
he took it pretty hard. And I know I moved away to Lubbock, maybe like when this happened in April of 2006. I had moved to Lubbock in 2005, like October, and he was sad because I moved to Lubbock. Like, he didn't tell me, my mom told me, like, man, he's moving to Lubbock. Like, 'cause I was with him every day. And he was all sad. I didn't know about it until my mom told me. He was all sad when you moved. So, yeah, having this happen, the accident, it affects everybody.
Oh, yeah.
That's what. Sorry, I take a drink. Throat gets all dry.
Good.
Talk too much. No. That's what a lot of people don't understand is every bad decision we make, it doesn't just affect me, That's what I seen out of all this. I'm like, you make a bad decision, it's not just on you. It doesn't just affect you. It affects everybody around you. It affects your kids, your wife, your parents, siblings, like literally everybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's, it has a ripple effect. It affects down to aunts, cousins, relationships change. A lot of bad things happen, and that's what I kind of tell my kids. I'm like, always remember, every bad decision you make affects everybody.
Yeah.
It affects you, directly, but it affects everybody around you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it does, man. I seen that firsthand.
Man. Oh, yeah. That's good, man. That's some good wisdom right there. A lot of people don't realize that, man, like your destiny is connected to other people's lives.
Oh, yeah.
And, man, whenever I had heard that one day, man, I think my wife, she heard it and she ended up telling me that. And it's like, wow, like, I didn't realize, like, how much of an impact your life can change somebody else by the decisions that you're making. Yeah. Like, whether they're good or bad, but, like, you always have to remember, like, man, your destiny is connected. It's connected. Maybe, just the people that are around you. Maybe people don't even know you and they're seeing what you're doing. Like, they've heard of you. And they're like, they're watching you. Not to say they're going to judge you for the decisions and everything you're making, but, man, maybe they're just looking up to you by what people you've said, and it's like, wow, that's good. That's good.
See, man. And that's true what you said, because I had, like my little sister, I never knew she wanted to be like me. So before I got hurt, the lifestyle I was living, she wanted to be just like me. She told me, she's like, I wanted to be just like you. She's like, I wanted to be getting high. I wanted to be doing this. I wanted to be fighting. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah. I never knew, until she was an adult and she started explaining to me, like, she's like, I wanted to be just like you. I didn't know that,
Yeah.
I didn't see that she was looking up to me like that. And when she told me that, and then I started, like, looking at my life, I'm like, man, like, that's bad, that I didn't lead a good example for her. And it's like, now that I have kids, I got to be very careful. Yeah. It's not something to take lightly. Yeah. I can't be out there getting drunk and fighting with my wife and doing all this nonsense because I got all these little eyes looking up to me. Yeah. And they're gonna say, if they look up to you and they admire you, well, if my dad did that or if my mom did that, I can do that.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. I don't want the lifestyle I live. I don't want for my kids, man. It's,
Yeah.
you know, I do my best to make sure they don't go down that road.
Gotcha.
But it's like I tell them, I'm like, once you get out and you start living your life for yourself, I'm like, you got to start making them decisions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, every bad decision has a consequence, whether you face it at that moment or later on in life, it'll catch up to you.
Yeah.
And it does.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like before I got hurt, I had a lot of people, like, in a way, God trying to get my attention.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you got to stop. Hey, this can't keep going on. You know, I was praying for God to give me a different life.
Mm.
And God had a different life for me. But I still wanted to continue in the life I was living.
Yeah.
And, you know, I believe God, I'm not going to say God did this to me, but I believe God said, okay, I'm going to let you do this on your own.
Mm.
You know, you're asking me for help. I'm trying to give it to you. You don't want my help then. And bam, you know,
Yeah.
I got a different life.
Do you think it's the one God wants? Do you think it's still leading or the path that God still wants you to go to, or you're starting to get to that is?
A lot of people say this is dumb and stupid because I've told them, I've had this conversation before,
Mm-hmm.
but I do believe it is. You know, I believe God has used my testimony and is going to keep using it to help other people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I say that because it never really affected me the way people thought it would.
Mm.
I've had friends that have, you know, I've known people, I've met people that have had the similar situation, and they're living rough, man. They're having a bad time with it. You know, they've tried to take their lives, but you can't.
Oh, man, yeah.
You know, it's, and I'm not, you know, there was a point after the accident that I thought about taking my life because I'm like, man, this is it.
Mm.
Like this is going to be my, you know, there was times of doubt.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because nothing was happening. There was a point where it kind of stopped, and I'm like, man, you know, but
You just kept going.
I had to keep going, you know.
Yeah.
If
I think that's good because your family seeing you in the situation you were in, and for you to keep going, I think that makes them even more stronger too. That makes just their faith, and you know, just believe in you a whole lot more. You and God, and just to see that, man, that fire, I guess, in you.
Oh yeah, it's
not stopping, but like, man, no, I'm gonna keep going. Like
Yeah.
I'm not stopping. Like this is not gonna stop me at all.
and that's what I tell people. I'm like, just don't ever give up, no matter what you're feeling at the moment, no matter what anybody else is telling you. You got to keep going.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Some therapists and people think I'm crazy when I tell them I'm gonna run. Still, they're like, "You're not gonna run." I'm like, "Yeah." Someone tell me no.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Terry Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because we were talking years ago, and Julie was telling him, "You got to get on a diet." And his thing was, "I ain't gonna run until Eddie runs." And still to this day, man, I'll see him like, and we'll be talking. He'll be like, "I'm still waiting for you to run, man." He's like, "I'm not gonna get on a diet or run until you
man.
run."
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Dang, all right, we got to get going because Terry's got to run, so I got to run."
Man.
And
Heck yeah,
it's you know it's a belief that I still have,
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
and I stick with it, man. There's people that, you know, they don't have that belief system.
Mm.
You know, they believe that once something's broken, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm like, boy, you know, I don't go to church no more, but I still believe in God. You know, God's always been part of my life, but even more now is like the biggest part of my life.
Yeah.
And I have that faith in God, you know, that one day I'm going to run.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were talking one day, I ain't going to say who I was talking with, but he said, "Yeah, when you get to heaven, you're going to run." I'm like, "Nah, bro." I'm like, everybody's going to run when they get to heaven.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to run while I'm here on this earth.
All right, heaven on earth, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
And they're like, "No, man." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "You
believe
just
with
wait."
you too.
Yeah. And then I tell them, like, "Just wait and see, man." I told them, when I run, I'm like, "I'm going to run you over just for telling me that, man." I'm like, "I'm going to run you into the ground."
I'm
And
gonna stiff arm you out the way, boy.
so
Move.
that's the deal we made is when I run, I'm going to run right into that person and take them down.
Dude.
Yeah. That's going to
awesome,
be cool.
man. Man, dude, I appreciate you coming on here, Eddie. Like, dude, I ain't even lying. Like, I am inspired. I'm encouraged because you, everything you've been through, and you're still going. You know, you talk to, and I'm not putting anybody out there, but you talk to some people, some men that don't want to do anything. They think like, man, like, no, it's over for me. Like, no, like, seriously,
Yeah.
like, dude, you went through all this and you're still going. You're walking right now.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be walking. You're supposed to be in bed.
That's right.
But you're doing, man, what people told you couldn't do.
Yeah.
And seeing other people, they're like, no, like, they told me I can't, so I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
And seeing, dude, like that right there, man, is encouraging, man. Like, that's awesome.
I mean, you got to keep going, man. You can't.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, doctors know a lot, but they only know so much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they go by, if you go by what the book says, the medical book, you know, that's it. You ain't gonna get nowhere.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, man. Gotta
Dude,
keep believing in God.
I'm proud of you, man.
Heck yeah.
Thanks, man.
Just thank you, man. Thanks for having me on here.
Oh, yeah.
I was nervous.
Dude, no, we ain't done
Dude,
yet.
I really was.
It's just the first time, man.
Heck
There's a
yeah.
whole lot more that we can talk about. I know that for sure. But, man, I'm proud of you, man. I appreciate you coming on here, Eddie.
Hey, can you stop and edit parts out?
If you want me to.
Yeah.
No, I don't do that.
Oh, you really can't?
No. No, we done anyway, but
Cool.
how can, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, say social media, man, what
Facebook, man.
Facebook, what is
That-
your
Facebook would be the best way.
yeah, just
My
Eddie
name,
Gonzales,
Eddie Gonzales.
not Ned, nothing.
No, Eddie Gonzales. Seminole, Texas, because there's quite a bit of 80s out
There
there.
you go, Eddie Gonzales, and of course you can follow me on No Holds, Facebook and Instagram. But man, that's all that we have for today. Until next time, man, we out. Peace.
Peace.